The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Reaper Apparel offers a casual line of superb fit, finish, and comfort. We design for those who refuse to die slowly and choose to live untamed. For those who aren't afraid to face the dark, for the ones that thrive in it, and for those who can appreciate life through a grim lens. That's Reaper Apparel Company. Go to the link in the description of this episode, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my own personal merch store, the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. I have hats, I have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, water bottles, notebooks, you name it, I've got it. The description and the link for that will be in the description of this episode. Also, right now, if you use the promo code WELCOME, I will give you 5% off of your first purchase. That's the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Tactical Brotherhood, all American-made apparel, which helps support the Second Amendment. You can also find all this in the description of this episode with the link, Tactical Brotherhood. Part of every proceed does go to helping veterans, as it is a very good cause. All American-made products made right here in Minnesota. Go and check them out. Use the promo code PATRIOT15 to get 15% off your purchase. Now, let's start the show. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I have a great and interesting episode for us today and a great panel of guests that are going to help me get through it today. We're going to be talking about all things vacations. I figured since it is the summer, what better time to talk about vacations than during the summer? So I have a panel of guests that we're going to get through here today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves as always. A little bit different of an intro for them today. But guys, tell everyone your name, what your high school mascot was, and if a song were to play every time you walked into a room, what song would that be? And Nicole, we're going to start with you.
All right. I am Nicole Faith. My high school mascot was a hickory hornet. I'm originally from Hermitage, Pennsylvania. So if you're from that area, Hornets was the mascot. And song Addicted to Love by Robert Palmer. I'll throw it back to an old one.
Old school. I like it.
Yeah,
all right.
That's a vibe. That's a vibe for vacation. So I figured throw it out there.
Absolutely. Andrea, what about you?
So I'm Andrea. My high school mascot was the Fitch Falcons. And if a song played every time I came into a room, I would have to say Let's Get Loud by Jennifer Lopez. Just because that song hypes me up, but I'm also Italian. I'm very loud. So when I get into a room, naturally, it gets louder. So
yeah.
It's my hype song.
Most paisans, when you go into a room, it gets louder for sure. Rusty, what about you?
Hey, my name's Rusty Bliss. My high school mascot was a Viking. And the way I feel today after a weekend of softball tournaments is if I walked into a room every time, it's going to be Toby Keith, as good as I once was.
That's an awesome one.
Smoked, man. Smoked.
I'm sure you are. Drew, what about you?
What's up, y'all? Drew McLaughlin here. My high school mascot was a Louisville Rocket. And if a song was to play when I entered a room, it would probably be Guess Who's Back by Eminem.
Okay.
Classic.
Nice.
Wendy.
Hey there, Wendy Kunash, and my high school mascot was a beaver. And song, I'm going to say Don't Tell Me What to Do by I Love Makonnen is the name.
Okay. And last but not least, Jordan.
What's up, guys? Jordan. My high school mascot, we were the Riverbend Bears. The school was actually supposed to be the Beavers. So it's funny that Wendy said that. We were supposed to be the Beavers. They switched it last minute, and it was Bears. If a song played every time I walked into a room, feel pretty good right now, so I'd probably say Sold Out by Hardy.
Okay. Solid choices there. I will actually go for this one too as well. As always, everyone knows Mike Bono. My high school mascot was a Bruin. And with how, I can't not go with this. It is the song that plays every time I walk up on stage, and that is The Chicks Dig It by Chris Cagle. So typically when I go into a room, I'm the only one on stage that plays country music, and I love it. So it's Chicks Dig It. So that's definitely my walk-in song for sure. But we're going to talk all things vacations here. So, Nicole, we're going to start with you here. What is one place you have visited on vacation that you absolutely had the best time?
Oh, geez. Okay. Can I give a couple?
Sure.
All right. So Florida is definitely in the mix. Where I'm headed right now. I'm in an airport right now heading there. So all parts of Florida, can't go wrong. It's always a good time. What can't you love with the beach, sunshine, and the ocean? And it's a constant party everywhere. But the other ones I would say Montreal, Canada, which has a really good European feel to it. I've not been to Europe yet, but I have actually a trip scheduled for next month to go there for the first time to Europe. So I feel like Montreal was kind of a little dose of the European vibe, and not too far away in our sister country. And then another one I would say is Boston, Massachusetts. Going to like Cape Cod and Salem was pretty cool. And then just the actual city of Boston is a smaller New York and Chicago, but very clean and has an awesome Italian culture, Italian village, like a little Italy of New York. So those would be my top threes.
Okay. Solid top three. Andrea, what about you?
All right, so I'm going to give two as well, only because I'm normally a beach person, but we just got back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So if you're looking for beach, fun vibe, I've been to a lot of parts of Florida, and I'm not like too much of a partier, but South Beach, Miami was spectacular. The food was great. The entertainment was great. A little bit more of a party scene, but a great time. And then Gatlinburg, like I know it's the fad to go to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge now, but top notch. Absolutely. We had a place with a pool. We only spent one day in the pool. There's so much to do, just walking, doing tastings, a little bit of that Southern hospitality. Everybody was very nice.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Andrea and Nicole. Florida has been my favorite place by far, going all the time. I'm actually going there in a few weeks. Buddy lives down there. We're going to visit him. But to compare Florida, I've been to Denver, Colorado, which is a blast. That's a new upcoming city, I'd say. Not as big yet, but it's still a lot to do. And then my top would have to be, I just went to a wedding in the Bahamas, and that was unbelievable. So I got to say, Nassau, Bahamas was top notch for sure.
Okay, Rusty.
Well, I mean, you know what I do for a living, so I don't really get to go on vacation a lot. Everywhere I go is like a vacation destination. But growing up, I have family in Jersey, and my vacations were always in Jersey at the beach, and that was before the commercialized Jersey Shore nonsense. We were the OGs, and it was nice. And then as you got older, you saw what your parents saw in that. It's nice to get away from everything, but out of the country, there was always one because of work where I went, and I ended up going back there to hang out just for a while, was Grenada, which is way the hell down south. But we have a run that goes between St. Lucia and Grenada, and I wanted to just go hang out down there. So I had a week off of work. I jump seated down, and we hung out on the beach in Grenada. It's crazy, but it's just chill. You're 2,500 miles away from home, and it's really nice.
Absolutely. It sounds nice. And for the new listeners out there, Rusty is a pilot. So, yeah, he's basically on the road a lot. So, so that's what he does. And, he's constantly in the air, and I'm always looking for you just in case you end up flying over where I'm in Ohio. So just so you know, I'm always looking up. I know.
I'll wave.
All right. Wendy, what about you?
All right. So I almost didn't say this one, but I'm just going to say it. I went to the Marble Ranch in Montana, and I have to tell you, like, I've traveled so many places, Paris, I mean, just all these different places. And I will still rank Montana as my number one favorite trip because there's there's so much to do there. Everything is pretty much outside. But when I went, it was like below 10 degrees and we were ice fishing on water. The Clydesdale horses were there. It was insane. We were snowmobiling down the sides of all of these mountains, and you're taking these little tiny like prop planes everywhere, which is a little scary, but it's incredible. Just the scenery, the people. Yellowstone Park is there too, so we got an opportunity to check that out. But the wildlife, it was just incredible. There's more wildlife than actual people, which kind of nice.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet.
As someone who's making his living as the angry white comic and just talking about the stupidity and the people in the world, yeah, that sounds like a dream to me.
It's awesome.
But that is actually my wife's dream location to live is Montana. So for sure, definitely want to go there. I haven't been there. That sounds amazing. But Jordan, what about you?
I feel like everyone's given like real nice, like good answers, and I'm just gonna go with the basic one, which is Mexico and an all-inclusive at Mexico. Like something about going there, knowing that you can have as much food and be fat as you want. Go swim up to the pool bar, go to the beach if you want, swim in the ocean. You can do it all. So, like to me, it's easy. All I gotta do is show up. I gotta wake up every day. That's it. I gotta wake up, then I can pick X, Y, and Z to do. Basic again. A Mexico trip's basic, but an all-inclusive down there, I love it. I can't get enough.
I don't think you can go wrong with an all-inclusive anywhere. That just sounds like right up anybody's alley. Oh yeah, all I gotta do is wake up and everything else is done for me. Yeah, that's a vacation.
I gotta wake up, man. That's it. Just gotta wake up.
That's a vacation for me. Just wake up and everything's done. That's a vacation. The one I'm taking at the end of this month that I can't wait for, I'm going to be on a houseboat in a lake in West Virginia, and I cannot wait.
There you go.
I don't care if it rains every day. I will be outside on the top deck of this just lounging. You're not going to get me out of this chair. That's exactly what's about to happen. I've warned everybody that's going on this trip. Don't bother me. I haven't had a vacation in 6 years. I'm not doing anything. So that is that's what I can't wait for. But Nicole, let's go back to you. Where is your bucket list vacation spot that you have not yet made it to, but you want to go to?
Okay. So one thing I want to throw out to Jordan, since he chimed in about Mexico, if you haven't checked this out yet, look up Crash My Playa in Cancun, Mexico. And for you, Mike, since you love country, it's a 4-day all-inclusive country fest on the beach that's hosted by Luke Bryan. So it hits both of your styles right there. It's an absolute blast experience, one-of-a-kind thing. Put it on your bucket list. Go do it. Anybody that loves country and the beach and an all-inclusive, you can't beat it. But back to your question. The trip that I have coming up at the end of August, into September, going to Europe, we are flying to Venice and then training to a couple places there, and then flying over to Paris and hitting Paris. Sorry. I'm in an airport. So.
You're good. You're in an airport. We're fine. We're good. We got it.
Some feedback there, but Paris and then training to London and Amsterdam. That was on my bucket list. That's where I wanted to go. That's where I'm going. So I'll hit you back after that trip and let you know how it was.
Absolutely. That sounds phenomenal. But Andrea, what about you?
You've probably heard this from me before, but definitely Italy. I have a strong Italian background, so got to make it there one day.
100%. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, how fitting is it that we're doing a vacation podcast and Nicole's at the airport?
Yeah. She's going to be leaving us. She's going to be leaving us here in like 5-10 minutes to get on a plane. So we're good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I planned it.
Yeah, right.
Just leave the phone on as you board.
My last name is McLaughlin, so I have a strong Irish background. I have family in Ireland living there right now, so definitely Ireland would be my top for sure to get there at some point in my life.
I think you just went to the top of my wife's favorite guest list. She has a list, but she is full Irish. That is her bucket list place. The problem is, she said if I ever took her there, she's not leaving. So, like, that's just can't go there. But yeah, yep. I definitely that's a solid pick. But Rusty,
Norway.
Norway.
Norway. I got a cousin that travels a lot, and I've been all over the planet and don't get to stay too much. And that's a place that it's quiet. I tell them I'm going to go for a week. I'm going to go to the highest mountain there, turn everything off, and just take it in. It's quiet. It's, the airports are one thing, but to go and actually get out and get in the country, it is a bucket list place. I even joked around with my cousin. I go, that's where I'm going to die, man. I'm going to go there. I'm not coming back. Just leave me in the mountains, dude. I'm good. But Norway's probably the top one.
All right. Wendy, what about you?
Slick.
I want to go to Spain.
Spain. All right.
Spain. Yep. No particular area, just anything Spain. I've been fascinated with that whole space, just the people, the food, the scenery, all of it from what I've seen. Yep.
So just throw a dart at the country of Spain.
Anywhere, I'm good.
That's where you're going. All right.
I'd love to go. Yep.
All right. Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, going off of Andrea, I'd like to go see the home country and go out to like Calabria and Italy. That's like a bucket list and see where the roots of my family are from. Anywhere there, like the Mediterranean's like on my bucket list, like Italy, and then I like to shoot over like Greece maybe. But besides those two, like one that's off the ball, I heard Iceland's beautiful. That's another one. Like besides the Mediterranean area, like Italy, Greece, Iceland's one that I'd love to get.
Iceland's on fire right now. Be careful. Not much ice left.
All right, never mind. We're tracking my statement.
Retract that. Yeah, we're gonna.
If you like volcanoes, it's cool.
I'm gonna go to Norway with Rusty.
Come on, man.
They're going to be up in the mountains. Jordan and Rusty up in the mountains.
One big beer.
Absolutely. For me, obviously, like Andrea and Jordan, the resident paisans on here, it's Italy for me. I still have family in Sicily. I am Sicilian, so would love to go there. But obviously, for my wife's sake and my sake, Ireland is on there too as well as the bucket list vacation. But I don't think you'll get either of us out of either of those countries if we go. So that's probably not going to happen. But Nicole, I know you got to go here soon. So here's another question for you. What place do you think is an overrated place for a vacation?
Oh wow. So I would say, even though I said Florida, I feel like everybody vacations to Siesta Key. So I'll throw that one out. And another one I'll throw out is, even though I've been there, Traverse City. I feel like that's gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of people like wanting to go there or they've been there. So I would say those two places are overrated. Even though I've been there, I like them both. It's just a lot of people have gone there and you hear it all the time. So I'll throw those two out.
I gotcha. Yeah, Florida's overrated for me. I just, the heat and the humidity, that they don't work well with me. So that's just it. I love going there, but it's overrated for me. Andrea, what about you?
All right, so I'm assuming all of you guys are from Ohio, if not pretty close. So I don't know if it's going to be a good or a bad thing to say, but Geneva on the Lake, like it's not really a vacation place because it's in Ohio, but like I've grown up going there my entire life. My girlfriend is from Ashtabula, so like COVID, I mean, they were at Yankees every night, but every time we go there, bachelor parties out the wazoo. I'm like, you came to Geneva for a whole weekend to do this? Like, I feel bad saying it. I'm like laughing, but not Geneva, Ohio. That is overrated.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard it's overrated there too. So you're not wrong there.
No
Drew,
offense, but yeah.
I'm not originally from Ohio. I'm a West Virginia born and raised, so we're fine. Drew, what about you? What's overrated for you?
Yeah, so for mine, it's going to be another one that's contradictory. I'm a big Tennessee Titan fan, so I love going to Nashville to see a game. But I've been there 3 times, and like after day 2, I'm like, all right, I've had enough. You know, like I love going to a game, but like the Broadway's cool. But after you go there so many times, it's like long lines, and you get one drink every like 45 minutes. I'm like, this kind of sucks, you know. Yeah. So I guess I'd say Nashville, even though I like going to see a Tennessee Titan game, but after 2 days, you're like, get me the hell out of here.
Gotcha. Rusty, what about you? What's overrated?
It's easy to echo the Florida sentiment easily. I mean, you see it a lot, and it is overrated as far as vacations. But one interesting that nobody brought up is New York City in particular. It plays well on TV, not in person. It's, it's good. It's one of those that it's good for a quick weekend, man, unless you really, 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 really like people. It's insane. It's insane.
Nicole, we're just ripping your destination.
Yeah, Nicole, this should be good for you to get on a plane to Florida here in a couple minutes. Yeah.
Hey, now,
well, it depends on where you're going in Florida, though.
There's how many millions of people in the world? Some person is still going down there, so I'm okay. That Airbnb will still work for them. And hey, I still got a junket to hop on when I want to get out of this winter cold, so I'm good with it.
Yeah. And as we're talking about this, I know this is recorded well before this is going to air, but my parents just got off a plane in Florida in South Beach today. So yeah, that we're all crapping on Florida, and they're down there now.
not really knocking it, but it's over. I mean, everything's uber commercialized. So and I mean, it is nice. Nobody's saying it's not nice, but some things they can play it up as being this, and this, and it's it's just Florida.
Yeah. Wendy, what about you? What's overrated to you?
I'm gonna say Myrtle Beach. The amount of people that are in Cleveland looking to go there as a destination, and I'm not talking like once, family vacay every year. They intentionally go like 2 or 3 times a year. I've been there, and I'm not quite sure where they're staying or what they're doing there, but there's like not a whole lot going on in Myrtle Beach. It's the craziest thing to me. But I have to say something about the Geneva on the lake.
That's funny.
I kid you not, my best girlfriend, Mike knows her. She was on our show one time talking about patios when she's had too much to drink.
Yeah.
And,
oh, shit.
She went to Geneva on the lake. She made reservations for all of July 4th weekend for her fiance and her son. And when she told me this, like, those were the big plans. I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? She's like, oh, we're going to Geneva on the lake. I'm like, for what? Like, what?
Yes.
What are you doing there? She's like, we're staying at a bed and breakfast. I'm like, and then what? What do you do there? There's like, I went there with a tenant, like, there's nothing. It's so funny. But anyway, it's just funny that you brought that up because I had that same response. Like, you're kidding, right? Like, what?
I'm glad you understand.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
I have to echo the Myrtle Beach. As an adult, there's not much to do in Myrtle Beach. I took like my senior year of high school vacation there with my friends. Yeah, as a senior in high school, as an 18-year-old, yeah, it's a blast. Now in my 30s, no, it's miserable. Go away. That doesn't sound like fun at all. But Jordan, last but not least here, what about you?
So I hate to toot the Florida thing. I agree with everything that we all just said about Florida. I'm going to go specifics into Florida here, okay? And this ruffles some feathers. And it's one that I have an argument with my fiance all the time. She says, when we have kids, we're going there. And I promise to God we will not be going because it's a waste of money. Some of you know what's coming. It's Disney.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
Don't do it.
taking
Don't
out
do
a
it.
loan to go to Disney. It won't happen. I don't care to see it. I will get Disney Plus and watch every single movie on Disney Plus before I ever go there. I don't need to go there. I don't need to go get a souvenir. I don't need to go wait in line for an hour to get on a stupid ride that lasts 30 seconds. I don't need to do it. I don't need to go get drinks around the world. I'll go get beer from every different country before I go there to get drinks around the world in Florida. I'm not doing that, okay? The best thing about Disney, here's a little insider for you. I don't know if any of you fish or any of you are, a little bit country like me, but there's a bass pond, okay, next to Disney that has cabins for the cheap that they stock with huge bass. You're better to go get a cabin with your family there for cheap right outside Disney World, okay, and say you went to Disney and you can just go fish every day in the peace and quiet instead of standing there sweating your butt off and wasting money.
God, I love it when
Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I'm so glad we did that. I think my fiance's in the other room right now, and she probably hears me talking about Disney, and that will never go.
You can't be done. Keep going.
No, that's it. We're good. She definitely heard me.
I would say you're on the rant show, so we're okay with long, heartfelt. Like I can feel that through the computer screen here. Like
Not happening. It won't happen.
Yeah,
He's adamant.
You have the.
She's opening the door. You heard what I just said? We're not going to Disney. We're talking about overrated places. It's Disney. We're not going. Waste the money. Yeah, and all you want. We're not going. All right, back off. I'm on a podcast.
Watch for stuff flying through the air at him now.
Yeah, I'm glad this isn't in person now. Now that we all can't get together to do this.
He talks about how it's so good. No, Jordan, don't understand. It's so much fun. It's so fun. Oh my god. I'm like, oh no, it's not happening.
No, see, I used to go as a kid. My parents would take us down there. My wife has taken our son. He's my stepson. I don't, but yeah. She's taking him, and she can't ride any of the rides anyway. She has a heart condition. She can't ride any of the rides. So what's the point of Disney for us? I'm going to go and sit there and sweat in the heat and the humidity? Right. No, I'm sweating in my house in the air conditioning recording this show right now. Like there's no need for me to go out.
You better enjoy the Disney vacation because the money's going to set you back for about 2 years before you can go on another vacation.
It's a second mortgage.
Yeah.
Really
Waste of time.
I still remember, and I don't know how I remember this. It was one of the few family vacations that my parents and my sisters took together when I was younger. And I remember my dad getting the Disney passes, and they told him the price, and the ghost white that came over his face. And I just remember my mom grabbing us kids and going, "Come on, let's go to the car. Dad's going to lose his shit here in a minute." Like, that's just, and I could just see him, just trying to, rip off money. Like, it was back in the 90s. Like, he was just, holding on to it for dear life. Like, it was, so, not for me. Yeah.
You can make Mickey Mouse waffles at home.
Yeah.
Right. We'll designate a whole night to Disney, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll watch whatever.
I really don't know where you can go from here. I was like, that should have been the last question with George. If I would have known that
was it.
I'd have saved that for the end. But
It is the happiest place on earth. Maybe you should.
Okay.
We're going to need a whole other roundtable to discuss
We're going to have
the
to.
repercussions were for Jordan.
I'm going to have to talk to Finny. Finny, we need a Disney roundtable. It's just Jordan.
No.
Listen,
it's just Jordan.
I love classic Disney movies, but I don't need to go to this park and what's there for me to do? I don't want to drink around the world. What a scam.
Oh, I love this. I love this show and I love my job. Oh my
It's
God.
just an international bar crawl.
Yeah.
Nicole, since you're still with us, you got a minute to answer another question? I know you got to get on a plane here soon.
Yeah, they're starting to board, but I got time for one more.
Okay. If you are going to a wedding that is out of town, let's say more than an hour away, are you using that weekend as a mini vacation or no?
Oh, yes and no. So I love little mini trips, staycations. I actually just booked one before coming to the airport because we're going to see a concert in December. So I figured play on that and also find out if there's anything else going on that same weekend. And then there's a Broadway musical that same weekend. So making that a staycation. So if there's something happening in the area that's worthwhile where you're going to a wedding, kind of playing on that, making a little mini trip out of it. Plus two, if you have the finances to do it, right? Some people don't have the means to hop on a plane and go somewhere. So the smaller trips like that go a long way. Sorry. For certain people. Those little mini trips go a long way for certain people because they might not have the opportunities like some of us to hop on a plane and go, to Disney.
Oh God.
And spend the Disney funds.
Don't even say that word anymore. That's just...
So I think that if that's your means, those are the opportunities that you can do, and you can make little trips out of that. It goes a long way for certain people that's where their funds can be placed. So yes and no. Looking up again what's going on in the area for going for a wedding, and book a little trip out of it, and make it worthwhile.
Not a bad idea. Andrea, what about you?
I agree with the yes and no. I just went to a wedding last week and it was like an hour and 40 minutes away, but there was nothing to do there. And I drove home at the end of the night. But I'm in a wedding, which is a little different, but it's an hour away in Portage Lakes and it's right on the water. We're renting cabins. Like, that's different. So yeah, I'm going to make a whole weekend out of that, but it depends on what you can do there. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, a buddy of mine, I was in the wedding, and it was at South Bend, Indiana. His wife was from Notre Dame. They got married right outside of Notre Dame College. I made a weekend at it. I made it worthwhile. I was leaving from West Virginia, so it was like, okay, I got to make the most of this. I'm driving like 4+ hours at this point in time to South Bend, Indiana. I'm going to make it worth my while. So yeah, I get it, but not everybody can do that. But Drew, I know you've done these destination weddings before. So what about you?
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's kind of crazy now this day and age. I just turned 30, so kind of all your people around you are starting to get married or have got married, or they're in the same boat to get married. Most of the weddings I go to now are out of town. It's very few and far between now do I go to a wedding that's actually where I'm from. So it's like, it kind of depends. Like we went to the Bahamas. You had to make that that's not just you're going there and coming back. You know what I mean? You're staying there for 5 days. I've been to Colorado for a wedding. I've been to Savannah for a wedding. I've been to Florida for a wedding. I've been to New York for a wedding. I mean, it's insane what it is like now. Pentwater, Michigan for a wedding. So kind of my philosophy and policy is if I got to fly to it, I'm staying for a long time. But if it's drivable, I'll probably make it maybe a day after, but I'll come home at that point. Just it's getting crazy now so much. So yeah, if I got to fly, I'll stay, make it a week or whatever, 4 or 5 days. But if it's drivable, maybe a day after I'm out of there.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a solid plan. But Rusty, what about you?
Echoing a lot of the stuff everybody said, it's yes and no. If it's someplace you haven't been before, I mean, it might be neat to, and you want to really check it out, get the wedding done, get the reception done. If you survive the reception, go explore for a couple days and then head home. But if it's something that's just an hour or 2 hours away, dude, I'm hit and run. Hey, congratulations. Let me eat my dinner. Here's your food. I'm out. That's just, I mean, hit and run, man. But if it's someplace you haven't been or that I haven't been, that's I want to check it out. Yeah, I'll make a weekend or 4-day deal out of it.
Okay, Wendy, what about you?
I mean, I'm writing on the same thing everyone else is saying. It just kind of depends on where it's at. If it's out of the state or somewhere fun like the Bahamas, then hell yeah, I'm there for the week, But if it's an hour and it's in the middle of nowhere like Geneva and there's really nothing to do.
Poor Geneva.
I'm driving home. I'll probably make it home in 45 minutes, but that's it. Yeah. It really depends. Yeah.
All right. Jordan, what about you? Destination wedding to Disney. You going or no?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse theme.
Absolutely not. I do agree. I mean, I'm going to keep beating the same drum, yes and no. Location, I like what Rusty said. If you've never been there before, even if it's somewhere small, it might be cool to check out the town a little bit. If you're flying, it's a definite yes for me. It doesn't matter where it's at. Yeah. If I'm flying, I'm going to make at least an extra day out of it to check out wherever it's at, especially if it's the Bahamas, like where Drew went. That's a stay for a while type of thing. Not doing it. A Disney wedding just sounds like the worst day of my life.
I had to.
I'm thankful that my fiance didn't get married there. I mean, that would have just been.
You know what she's doing right now? She's booking that.
She's booking and planning the wedding in Disney as we speak. That's happening.
No shot. I'll go to Kennywood 30 times if we want to ride.
Kennywood's awesome.
Yep. And I already wait in 45-minute lines there, so why would I go wait in the dreaded heat?
Oh, man.
I'll be at the same job. Yes and no. Depends. Flying, definite yes. If it's more than an hour away, if it's a town you've never been to, stay for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's easy. If you've been there before, like Rusty said, in and out. But if you haven't been there, make at least an extra day out of it. See someplace you've never been. But being halfway through the show here, I do have to get these sponsors in, so I figured it would be a good break in the action to let Jordan cool down about Disney. And we're going to talk about two of the newest sponsors to the show, and the first one is Buddy's Beard Care. Buddy's Beard Care provides premium men's grooming products to an affordable price. Products that are made in Ohio, and Buddy's Beard Care supports local. The majority of the suppliers are from other Ohio-based companies. You can find them on their social media at Buddy's Beard Care or online at buddysbeardcare.com. Use the promo code Bono15, and he's going to give you 15% off. I have been using these products for a little over 3 months now. My beard has never felt healthier. It has never been growing faster. And according to my wife, it has never been softer. So try them out, buddysbeardcare.com. And we are bringing back another one of my favorite sponsors from former guests of the show, Matt Landowski, and that is Sweet Hand Sports. Elevate your game with Sweet Hand Sports. Our sports gloves are designed for champions, providing ultimate grip and durability. Achieve greatness with every match. Choose Sweet Hand Sports for the winning edge. Grip your victory at sweethandsports.com. Use the promo code Bono10. You're going to save 10%. They also don't just have batting gloves now. They also just started their golf glove line. They sent me a complimentary pair of golf gloves. I love them. They're comfortable. They help you grip the club. They do not help my golf game whatsoever because I am a horrible golfer. I know it's a terrible promo for them, but I am not the golfer to go for that. But they are comfortable, durable, and they're going to last for you. Again, promo code Bono10 at sweethandsports.com. All right, now that everyone got to witness me reading for a little bit now, let's get back into it. And Andrea, let's start with you here. Where would be a better place to have a summer vacation? Montana or Maine?
Okay, so I've never been to either of them, but I've wanted to go to Acadia in Maine, and I have friends that have a lot of family in Montana and say great things. Because I've never been to them and because I discovered Acadia and I just heard about Montana from others, I'm going to say Maine.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have experience, so I can't give like a valid answer on that. That's just my mindset.
All right. No worries. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, to piggyback off Andrea, I've never been to either one of them. Typically in the summer, I enjoy being around water, any source of water. So Maine, I can at least find the coast of Maine on Atlantic Ocean and do something there. So I'd probably have to say Maine for me.
Okay. Rusty, what about you?
Been to both, and there is a lot of water in Montana, by the way, a lot of big ass lakes. But Montana,
nice.
just because it's wide open. I mean, there's actually a lot of stuff to do. We actually do a lot of air sports stuff up there with some warbirds. There's a lot of flying up there. So Montana's, it's just, like I said, it's wide open, beautiful at night. It's clear. It's quiet, and it's so far removed from cities. I mean, it's really nice. I mean, they have their share of big cities, but It's nothing like here out east. It's and Montana's just gorgeous.
All right. Wendy, what about you?
I'm going to say Maine. I want to be as close to the water as possible in the summertime, patios, and I'm dying to try some of that seafood that they have over there too. Yeah. And I haven't specialized in learning anything about like any of the cities or anything like that, but it's definitely on my list of somewhere to go. For sure.
Portland's real nice. Portland's real nice. Get a lot of seafood, good seafood there. Good lobster.
Lobster.
All right,
Good lobster.
Jordan, Montana or Maine?
This is the toughest question of the day so far. I think Montana. I've never been to either. My parents have been to Maine, so this is kind of giving me a slight edge visually, even though I've seen tons of videos, I guess, on Montana. Beautiful out there. Rusty was really selling it, but I'm the same way. I'm drawn to water. My parents went to Bar Harbor, I think, in Maine, which was a nice little town. It looked like on the coast. I bet you there's just a tons of like hidden gem little towns on the coast of Maine that I'd like to visit and stay in. So I'd have to pick Maine.
Okay. I'll weigh
Didn't Jordan have a third choice?
It was Disney. That was the third choice. It was Disney.
Right.
Yeah, that was
exactly what it was.
We just got him calmed down, Rusty.
This is good. This is good for ratings.
It is.
You
It really
almost
is.
need to have a show dedicated to where you bring my fiance on it. It'll just be a debate.
It's a game show.
Me versus her on the selling points of Disney.
I will literally I will come on. I will host that debate, and I would just say Disney and go.
Go.
And I would just leave the room for an hour. You
have to be the moderate. It's like a presidential debate and like ask us dumb questions.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'll put a suit on it and really sell it. Trust me, I'll sell it.
All right, yeah. we're gonna talk to Fiddy about that one because now you're piquing the comedian's interest. We're gonna talk to Fiddy about that one for the show, Jordan, for sure. Especially after he hears that rant that you went on about Disney. But to answer this question myself, it's Montana for me. I like the country. I like the openness. I like to be able to sit and look at the stars at night and just, give me a mountainside and an open field and an open beer and just let me be at peace. That sounds amazing to me. So Montana for me. And Rusty, you definitely sold it for sure on that one.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, they don't call it Big Sky Country for nothing. I mean, it's beautiful at night. I mean, stars, clear air, and it's kind of scary the first time you're out there, and you're like on a trip and you're by yourself working, but it's awesome. You just take that all in. It's great. Everybody's been to the beach.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely Montana for me, for sure. But Andrea, let's go back to you. What are your thoughts on staying on a resort if you go on international vacation?
Well, first I want to say that I'm mad at Nicole for getting off because I like being second to have time to think about these questions. So and I know she's going to listen to this, so I know she's going to hear that. I've been to one international vacation. I went to Jamaica, and it was like a mission trip, so we were staying with like house mothers and whatnot. And I see that there can be danger in other countries, but the exploring that we got to do with the families that was their community was different because obviously you were with the people who lived there. I mean, I think resorts can be good. Like somebody said earlier, I think it was either Jordan or Drew, about like the all-inclusiveness. I think that is very nice, but I do think it's important that if you can, in a safe way, go in and really dive in depth into those cultures. I think it's something that you can't miss out on. That's for sure. There's so many things in Jamaica that are amazing that you have to go with tour guides to do. And I don't think that anybody should miss out on those. That's for sure.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, the only resort I've really been on was the trip to the Bahamas. And just like Andrea said, I wish I would have more time to kind of get off the resort a little bit and just check out like what the actual Bahamas is all about. We were only there for 5 days, and one day was a wedding, one day was a rehearsal dinner, and the day after they had like a party, like an after party. So you really only had like 2 days to yourself, essentially. But I would say I had a blast. It was all inclusive as well, so you know, time was not a factor. You just kind of walked out of your hotel rooms like, all right, what am I doing now today? You know, it was a blast. So I would say, yeah, resorts are cool for sure. I would definitely go to one again, and yeah, for sure.
All right, Rusty, what about you?
The resort idea is pretty good because you don't have to clean a whole lot up when you're done. The food options are great, especially the all-inclusive side. You know, I mentioned St. Lucia before. The place they put us up at work is one of those all-inclusive, and they give us 4 meals a day. And if we don't use them, the company yells at us. So I ate that place out of steak for 2 weeks.
I say, tempt me with a good time.
You know, 4 meals. Drinks are a different story, but I think just the convenience of the resorts make it a little bit easier. It depends if it's just you or it's just a couple, or if it's your family with you. The resort might be the easiest way, but sometimes depending on where you're going and the locale, it might be cooler to rent a house. You know, to rent a place for if it's a week or 2 weeks. So
okay, Wendy, what about you?
I do like staying at resorts, especially if it's international. You know, there's that convenience factor. Everything's already kind of planned out for you, or at least there's a menu of items to just already kind of choose from. There's no guesswork. You know, you're going into kind of foreign territory and a little bit on the vulnerable side too, and not really knowing what their safety is like, or, you know, can you even trust certain people and things like that. We had a situation, there was a group of us in Jamaica and we went through a resort, but even just the taxi drivers were trying to coerce us into purchasing drugs from them directly, and then trying to take us off the path of where we were supposed to go into this other area. I mean, that is a very high crime place, beautiful, but very high crime. So there's that part of that resort, I guess, planning where you feel like you have a sense of security too, right? And this particular one in Jamaica that we stayed at, there were armed guards with rifles 24 hours a day outside of the resort, completely gated and everything. And you have to beg the question of like, why? Why is it like that? You know, but they say the crime is that high. So I don't know that I would probably travel without booking at least through a travel agent where they specialize in at least giving us that kind of information, if not staying at a resort. I just did a trip to Korea. I think we may have talked about it before on another show. Yep. And I don't speak the language anymore, even though I was born there. But this is also, 40 years ago. And for me, I felt, even though I was born there, like a complete tourist, stranger. I wasn't able to speak to anybody. I couldn't find anyone that spoke English that understood a word I was saying. I couldn't find peanut butter for 5 days at any store, no American food anywhere. It was insane. So, I had to then look to my mother and say, next time we try to come back here, I am going to plan it with a travel agent, and it's going to be like this, because unless you know someone there and you're staying with them, it's a free for all. We didn't even know like any of the areas, the streets, nothing, the hotel. We couldn't find anything. It was annoying and frustrating, to say the least. So that's not how you want to spend a trip when you're away either,
That doesn't sound fun at all, and that escalated really quickly with the armed guards. So,
no.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah, how do you relax? How do you relax like that?
Yeah, that doesn't sound relaxing at all.
I didn't. Yeah. I was gone for 2 weeks. I lost 30 pounds in the first week because I was starving.
I would need a vacation from the vacation.
It was so stressful, and I was like, this is crazy. I can't find anyone that speaks English here. Like, that is crazy to me, but it happened, not even at the airport. It was rough. It was rough.
All right,
I
Jordan,
want to do that again.
round us out here.
Yeah, vacation from a vacation is called Disney, by the way. Anyway, moving on.
I've been there. I went there too. I actually had a great time.
Oh my God.
Okay, you don't have to lie. I think about 90% of the time, I would say, international for sure, a resort. I like going last because you guys all give me great ideas to think. Rusty made it hit it on the head. Like, if you have a family, then it's 100% chance. If we're going international, I'm staying at a resort, with the kid. If it's one of those things where, Andrew's talking about and I'm talking about, and she's kind of the same where, hey, I want to go to the motherland out in Italy and go see my roots, then you kind of have to try to find somewhere out in the middle there where it's close to home, where your roots are from, and try to explore a little bit and pick up on the culture, learn the culture, and really take it in. But if you're doing that, it's kind of got to be like a you and one other person trip, I feel. If it's more than two going and you got family in, I'm doing the resort every time. Makes it convenient. Kids usually would have a fun time. And it's just a lot less stress on it, unless you're in Jamaica with the guards. So you want to feel safe is what I'm saying at a resort. You want to feel enclosed and you want to feel safe. That way you don't have to think about much. But if you are going on that trip for your roots, then that's a different story.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Jordan, I should make you go first for this, just for that comment.
Oh no, keep me here. I love it. Please keep
but we're gonna keep the same order, just to keep things rolling smoothly here. So, Andrea, this might be a nice toss-up question for you here to get you back into the swing of things. What is the best month to go on a vacation?
I guess it depends on what you like, but I'm going to say August.
August, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, of course, everybody now, and that's funny that I say that because a lot of my vacations have been in June, but I've had a lot of like bad vacations, especially to Florida. Like a lot of rain during that time. We went to Destin last year, and it was like there was a tornado 15 minutes from where we were. Like we were driving away from the area that it had just been. So I don't know. I want to say August. That's a hot month, but I think it's a more secure month.
Yeah, I've been to Florida in August. Never again. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, that's not, no. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of feel bad anyone who's associated with me because I am a teacher and a football coach, so I have like a 6-week gap where I can go somewhere, and if I don't go during that time, I just don't go anywhere. So for me, it's like June till like pushing the last week of July for me. I'd probably say June as a month, but other than that, I'm a teacher and a football coach, so it's kind of hard for me to take off or go in August or something like that. So I got to say June.
Try being a comedian with no set schedule when you can. You got to rely on bookers and agents, and people be like,
I don't know how you do it, dude.
Are you free this day? I mean, I guess, yeah. What, like, yeah.
Now I am.
I've told all of them that 22nd through the 28th of July, if you call me, I'm screaming no into the phone and I'm hanging up. That is going to be your response. No, I'm not free. I'm incognito that week. So yeah,
for sure.
But Rusty, what about you?
September. It depends on. This is another thing too. I mean, it depends on, like Drew said, his schedule. And I've gone through the whole coaching thing, and you're set on what your job has for you. But if you don't have that, and it's not based on, because I can't go anywhere in the summertime. I've got travel softball to coach, so I'm locked in with them. A lot of those trips turn out to be like vacations, but you're busy. But if it's just to get away, I think September, because you're just getting into right before the season changes, and it's not as crowded because kids are back in school. Colleges are starting to fill up, and it depends on what you want to do and where you want to go. But it's a nice spool down from the high of summer to that kind of mellow right into autumn. It's not bad, but it depends on where you want to go. I think we talked on one of the shows about Thanksgiving. It was a Thanksgiving show.
Yeah.
And my weirdest Thanksgiving, and this was kind of neat, was, I took a vacation in November. I went back to Jersey, and we didn't have turkey for Thanksgiving. We had friggin' lobster. So it's just one of those, what time of year is it, and what do you feel like doing? But I like September. September's one of my favorite months. And it just, it's nice. I can bid a vacation week, and nobody's really going to fight for it in September. And I can go pretty much anywhere I want.
Gotcha. And in the spirit of vacation. All right.
There you go.
Wendy, what about you?
Yeah, so my vacation times, it's really driven by work too, similar to what they said, it's the work schedule. So for me, I like to take off in November, the beginning of November, usually into the middle of November, and it's really just before the holiday season really kicks off here, especially in Ohio. Like, there's a lot of people that celebrate the holidays, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas, and every year Christmas starts to get celebrated earlier and earlier. And I understand that many people don't celebrate holidays, myself really included, because I really don't care to celebrate them, to be honest with you. But and there's all these other holidays too. But in our area here, there's a heavy push, marketing push and everything. Everyone's in that holiday season of entertaining, cooking, buying presents and things like that. And I like to take off. My busy season really, really slows down for work at that time. So I can finally get away and just completely check out, not have to worry about responding to anybody, seeing anybody for a while. And I can just kind of regroup and plan for my next year. It's usually when I do my planning and goal setting for myself and my team for the next year. So yeah, I'm going to say November.
Not a bad month. Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm in the same exact boat as Drew. I'm a teacher and a football coach, so you're pretty much, limited to that summer. But let's just go ahead and live in fantasy land and say I wasn't a football coach or a teacher. I have family from up here in PA that live in the Outer Banks. They've lived there for a while now, and I used to go live with them in the summers and work at a restaurant and stuff. And when I was down there and living, it's so crazy during the summer. And they used to always say, tourist or local summer starts in September. And I've been down there before in September and October, and it is like being at the coast of anywhere on the coast, I think from North Carolina up, because it gets real hot south of that.
Right.
But North Carolina and up on the coast, September and October, it's beautiful. The beaches are empty. It's usually still fairly warm depending on where you're at. Like down there, I know. Like in October, it's still 70, 75 degrees. The water's still good enough that you can go in it. It's warm enough. And it's so much more peaceful to be there when no one's there. The leaves are changing. So fall at the coast is a really good time, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I say, September and October.
All right. Yeah, I don't really have a month in mind. Pretty much me is whenever I can take a vacation, I'm taking it. I'm not limited like Drew and Jordan with the teacher and football schedule, but I don't have a set schedule. It's pretty much whenever shows tend to slow down, it's like, all right, let's take a vacation and let's get out for a little bit. But we are running a little bit short on time here, so I'm going to get two more quick questions in here. Andrea, we're going to start with you. Flying or driving, which is better to travel in your opinion?
God, flying. Absolutely flying. I was just I don't want to make this a longer answer than it needs to be, but I was just discussing this because we drove to Gatlinburg and it was a little over 8 hours from where I'm at in Youngstown. And I'm like, that wasn't bad. We left at midnight. I was super excited. I drove 5 hours like it was nothing. I drove till 5 a.m. and I was super excited. But if that drive would have been to Florida and it was like a 16-hour drive, I would have been pissed. I would have hated the drive. So I would absolutely prefer to fly over drive anytime.
All right. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Flying anytime, anywhere. I hate driving. I hate driving to Cleveland. If I can fly to Cleveland, I fly to Cleveland. So flying all day, every day.
All right, our resident pilot, Rusty, flying or driving?
Is trains not an option? No. Flying. It's a no-brainer. I think that's the thing too that comes with age. When we're younger, we like getting out. You're driving, you want to go all over the place. But just because it's it's easier for me to do it would be flying. But I mean, just for the saving of time, it is.
All right, Wendy.
I'm going to say flying as well. I want to hurry up and get to where we're going, and I just want to start relaxing from that moment on and not worrying about anything. And driving, again, foreign territory, whether it's just a different state or not, like I don't want to be stressed about that at all.
Yeah. Jordan.
It's simple for me. I have a cut line. If it's below 7 hours, I'll do it. No problem. Get behind the wheel. Let's go. If it's above 7, I'm not doing it. I'm buying a ticket to fly. For whatever reason, I've drove so much in my life. I used to live in Virginia. We come back home and visit PA, so I'm used to 5-hour drives. When I'm behind the wheel, I feel like I think better, and I get a lot of like football ideas behind the wheel. But 7 hours is the max. I'll go. I did 9 hours one time, and that sounds like nothing, I guess. But I did 9 hours and never do it again, and wanted to punch myself in the face when I got out.
As someone who drives pretty much almost exclusively to all of my shows, whether they're in-state or out-of-state, flying would definitely have to be it for me. Last out-of-state show I had was in Sanford, Michigan, back in March, and it was only 5.5 hours one way. But the wonderful booker of the show knew I was going that far, didn't have lodging or anything like that for me. So I had to turn around right after the show and drive back to basically Columbus, Ohio. And so I was in the car for 11.5 hours total. And never again. It was the most brutal trip. I left my house at like noon to be up there in time for the show, and I didn't get home until about 4 or 5 in the morning. And I will fly to Michigan. I don't even care at this point. I know it's right there from where I'm at now. Flying all the way for this question here. And last but not least, since we are running short on time, Andrea, best food you've had on a vacation is?
I hate to eat at the same place twice, like when I go somewhere, because I want to try stuff that's not franchised. And I can't remember the name of it now, but I'll get back to you. In South Beach, Miami, there was this place, and they had like this guacamole, mozzarella, like quesadillas. I don't know. There's this one restaurant that was great, but we went to it like 3 or 4 times while we were down there, and I got the same thing every single time I went there. So I'm gonna say like some southern South Beach, Miami food. They had a lot of great restaurants there. So,
all right, Drew, what about you?
Yeah, to add something real quick to the last question, the best thing I ever did in my life is get drunk at an airport too. So that's why flying is so much better. The airport beer is top notch. I freaking love it. But to talk about food wise, Nashville, the barbecue there was unbelievable. It was the best I've ever had. I've been there 3 times, and I get the same thing every single time. It's a little place on Broadway. I forget what it's called, but they have like anything you want. It's top notch, and every time I go there, I definitely get it.
All right, Rusty, what about you?
The Shore over in Jersey, man. There were all kinds of little small mom and pop places on the island, and they would come up with something. I mean, it would be similar to what we have here, but it wasn't commercialized. Like Andrea said, it was their local stuff. It could be a burger, it could be a sandwich, it could be breakfast sandwich, whatever it was. And you just, that was, you looked forward to going there, and hey, we're going to so-and-so's for breakfast tomorrow. Okay. And we're going to hit so-and-so's for lunch. And, you kind of had that because just something you had heard about and never tried, or something you tried before and you really, really liked it and you were going back for it.
All right, Wendy, what about you?
I'm going to say blackened grouper and anywhere in the Keys of Florida for sure. So Siesta Key, Lido Key, Longboat Key, all through there, St. Armand Circle. I kid you not, all those restaurants, because they're all just pulling it right off of the Gulf right there. They have the absolute best grouper you could ever have, ever. And it's best blackened.
All right. Jordan, round us out here.
Back down in the Outer Banks where I lived, in Nags Head, there's a place that serves fresh poke. I don't know if anyone is familiar with poke, which is pretty much like, it's going to sound nasty, but fresh raw fish. And it's in a bowl, like you get in a bowl with certain different types of sauces, whatever veggies you want, and they kind of mix it all together. At first, I was like, there's no way I'll eat raw fish. But when it's fresh and it comes in that day, I don't know, man. Something about it's my favorite thing on earth, probably. Every time I go back down there to visit family, I go there probably once a day, and I get the same order every single time. And it's just my favorite.
All right. I don't think I have a favorite, as someone who's pretty much been all over the East Coast and a little bit of the Midwest with comedy shows and all that. I don't think I have a favorite, but like Rusty said, I've been to Jersey, the little mom and pop shops. I'd have to go there. Anything mom and pop, I think anywhere you go is going to be phenomenal because, they put the time and the effort into whatever they're making. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite that I go. I'm a pretty simple guy, burger and fries anywhere I go, really, and I'm set, that's it for me. But that is actually going to do it for our vacation roundtable. I want to thank all of our guests, Nicole, who had to leave us early, Andrea, Jordan, Rusty, Drew, and Wendy for being on. This was a lot of fun, getting to know a little bit about everyone's vacations and everything like that. Hope everyone is having a safe and fun summer here and enjoying yourselves on vacations if you're able to take one. That is going to do it for me. As always, if you enjoyed the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you did. That's going to do it for me, and I will see y'all next week.
The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by W Energy. Energy drinks made for gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. For gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. Go to the link in the description where you can find the best energy drinks out there. Less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Also, no jitters and no crash afterwards. Use the promo code Mike Bono and get yourself 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my favorite sponsor of the show, and that is Shankit Golf. Golf apparel made for the everyday golfer. We might not go out and shoot a 6 under par. We're probably going to shoot a 6 over par, but this is going to give us the gear that's going to help us rock it on and off of the course. Go to the link in the bio, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get yourself 10% off there as well.